welcome to the Super Arcade Show.
Hi everyone! Welcome to this week's Super Arcade Show! Hello. Apologies for those waiting for more turtles. I forgot to say that I was done with turtles and that it was it's time for the Super Arcade Show. But hello Cheney, hello my gosh, hello Panda Grenades, hello Arcade 2.
Sorry if you're here
I'm
for
assuming
turtles.
that's Sam. You'll notice there's one of us is missing. It's almost a Phil Glass's stream. It is almost Lewis. Letting it
Lewis.
down, man.
It's almost a Phil Glass's stream every week, but no one points that out.
There's always
Come on,
one.
man.
There's always one. Does that mean I need to put glasses on this as well?
I feel cross-eyed now.
There you go. I just don't like how...
Dan, I'm so
reflection,
sorry. I'm
right,
so
man.
sorry, Dan. You missed.
Right? Oh my gosh.
You missed Turtles. I have been playing it since 3 this afternoon, so I'm so sorry. But
More turtles!
more Turtles. Should we just play Turtles? You guys just want to play Turtles?
More.
Should we just do that?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to play stupid turtle game.
Ooh.
Turtles do not actually contain any crab.
So you'll notice
What?
we're missing somebody today. We're missing the lovely Nadia, and the reason is it's her birthday. So I gave her the day off.
A birthday to you know,
Oh,
DMCA.
oh yeah. No, it's birthday.
It's not.
No, is it? It's-
So there was a case settled in America
This wasn't
where
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It used to be the song used to be for an old rhyme for something else, wasn't it? And then somebody used it for Happy Birthday, and then that's how it became the more. Anyway. Yes, welcome to the Super Arcade Show. I'm joined by Lewis, I'm joined by Sam, and I'm joined by twitch.tv/Totana. There he is. There's the logo. Are you not?
We work with a high budget here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So
And that-
yeah.
I mean, I could do a
It's not
transition,
muted by-
but
I was going to say, Tony can just, like,
I was gonna say
put his
you're
logo right
you've got
on.
the virtual cam, no?
Or you can just turn your
All
camera
right.
off. And then...
all right, just bully me. That's fine.
Welcome to the show.
So, this is our weekly talk show where we all catch up with each other as if we haven't spoken to each other many times through the week. And we haven't actually spoken to each other as much, actually. I've not been talking to anybody as much.
I speak to everyone because I live on Discord.
I
Oh.
commune with the trees.
Nadia's birthday wish is denied, Mish. I'm sorry. Can't be done. Can't be done. It's intrinsic. It's part of her being now.
Act, you know, when
Yeah.
we all slit our palms together and put
It's
them
called a
all...
it's called a high five.
Yeah, we did a group high five with
With
a
blood.
blood pact.
With bloody Bibles.
It was disgusting.
I'm
It
on a
was
roll,
disgusting.
and only I can hear it.
It was disgusting. But yeah, we're gonna kick off our show as usual with the catch up. So I'm gonna start with our guest of honor, the lovely Totana. How
Sam?
are you, sir?
Oh, me?
Yes. How are you?
I am good. I have been getting really sucked into Battlefield 5 recently. Been really enjoying it. Other than that, I've been doing some 3D printing stuff.
Nice.
Obviously, it was Father's Day over the weekend. I 3D printed a lithophane for my stepdad.
A what?
Anyone that isn't a lithophane, it is a.
Gesundheit.
So a lithophane is like, best way to describe it is, it's like a carved pumpkin, but on a flat plane. So the whole idea is when you carve a pumpkin, the more material you take away, the more light shines through.
Yeah.
A lithophane is a 3D picture that is printed, and the more plastic that is printed in place, the less light it lets through. So I 3D printed my favourite picture of him and my mum,
I see.
and that was like the main present. Because trying to get that right was a nightmare, and it was a 21-hour print. Because even like it was like a standard like little picture, and it was a 21-hour print because you had to print it really slow. But yeah, so I spent some time researching that. I've played a ton of Battlefield. Battlefield's really good. It's on EA Play, part of Game Pass.
It is
So
indeed. It is indeed. I played some Battlefield 4 until I realised that I didn't know what was going on and I was just shooting things. Because
That's what's going on.
the story just lost me, and I stopped. So, but yeah, nice.
I've been playing a ton of Battlefield 5 online.
Did you
Just
at least free the wolf, the trap?
Yeah,
I think he did.
yeah, totally, yeah.
Yeah, he's not got a clue. He
No,
shot
yeah.
a wolf, he thinks.
There was an Irish guy. I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's an Irish.
His name was Irish. I assumed he was Irish. I was like,
Yeah.
they just American. They just call things by what they are. So yeah.
Cool.
Brought to you by MoMA.
Moma Oat. Sam, what have you got for us? What's this? What are you doing? I see you reaching, boy.
You advertised milk.
Well, how's Sam? Actually, let's move. Let's go straight to
Advertised
Sam.
candle.
Tranquilio. What?
Tranquilo.
Tranquilo.
No, Tranquilio. It's my favorite Pokemon.
Tranquilo!
Tranquilio.
I'd like a bottle of Tranquilio and some chips.
Can I have a Tranquilio and Coke? Make it a double, please.
Sam doesn't understand alcohol. So, Tranquilo and chips, that's right, innit? That's how you do
I
it.
was being one of them men that went to Spain.
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit to all of you. Thank you, Cheney. Thank you very much. Is that how you spell Gesund?
That is definitely not how you spell it.
That's gasmtite, which is a glue, is it not? That's a glue.
Gasmtite.
Gesundheit is.
What was I
Gasm
talking about
tight.
the other
Brought to
day?
you by Miterbond.
Some
Is
kind
that
of
not one of those
epoxy.
things that's in caves? Yeah. I don't know.
Oh yeah, gasm tights. They
That's,
I guess.
yeah. The other ones goes, and then yeah. Actually, that's both, isn't it?
What?
No, because gasm might they go up. Gasm
Yeah.
mites go up.
Mites
Gasm
go
tights
up and
come down.
tights fall down.
Exactly.
That's how I would remember it. What
Well,
was
I
the Hebrew word my parents got wrong the other day, and I fought with them about it, and I was right.
Why were your parents speaking
Oh.
Hebrew?
I believe it was chutzpah.
Ah.
Shalom.
Ah!
No, never mind.
Welcome to the Arcade Team Stream. I'm Sam. I've had a great 5 minutes or so. I will never be hibernating again. No, I've done not much. Supposed to have moved house 2 weeks ago. It will now be 2 weeks' time. Mostly because things are not being finished, and I will be going to London next week, which is not ideal. I wanted to do those things the other way round. So in the meantime,
there's a show happening. You're going to see a show.
there's a
is that
show.
right?
Diane's debuting her really cool stuff that she did that's really cool.
Nice.
My girlfriend is design and manufacturing for Central St Martin's in London, and it's their final degree show. So I get to go and look at all the cool stuff she's done and go at everyone else's work. So that's going to be fun.
I'm glad you gave us the details because it sounded by the first sentence like you had no idea what was going on.
No, I'm
I get to see the show.
I'm going to see
Just
it.
here
stools.
for support. Yeah.
It's a really cool show.
So it'll be fun. In the meantime, I'm just making the content, or watching the wrestling, or making the wrestling-based content. So it's all hip-hop and happening. This week, from me, you can expect a top 5 video all about scandals.
Scandals.
Scandalous!
And on Patreon, you can expect the first video that isn't my face. You'll get to see Nadia playing
right.
a robot cat game.
That's right.
Gato
Gato
Robot.
Robot. No, it's Gato Robot.
And then next week, you get to see Lewis's face.
Really?
And then after that, it's back to me because we aren't organised enough to do it multiple weeks in a row. So it's back to Sam again for another 4 weeks, and we'll see what we do from there.
Sam's camera might do a funny thing for a second while I do this. There we
No,
go.
leave me alone.
I fixed it. There we go. It's okay.
I do now have more clothes though. I got to go back to my old house
Nice.
and pick up some of the clothes. Not allowed to pick up other bits of the clothes because the house is about to be photographed and then sold. So I need to wait a bit because those are for spice. So I'm just got a wardrobe of things that I cannot get to yet. But yeah, good times as my hair's got wilder and wilder as this entire conversation has gone on, which shows that I'm hanging on by a mere thread. But I've got chutzpah, and that's all that matters. Andrew, how's your week?
You got chutzpah, kid.
The
I
best,
like it.
the best way to hide the fact that your hair's gone out of control is to do this. Then no hair. See, sorted. So yeah, my week has been wonderful. I've had a lovely week.
Done with the game.
Yeah, I've just been chilling. I'm trying to get back into streaming more, so you'll see more hours from me again. I've been trying to get physio stuff sorted out, but the NHS suck at making appointments for things. So they don't suck in general, like when they do the work. Normally, yeah. I mean, Michelle's hip is fantastic, for example, just as a thing. But
Andrew,
yeah,
please.
trying to get an appointment with a physio has been murder, and I still don't have one. I'm getting my second phone call in a couple of weeks, so hopefully good things coming from that. Apart from that, just been working on the shop, tidying up stuff. If you caught me on stream, you would have seen me organising all of the Xbox games, but I still have all of the 360 games to go through, which is daunting. But we'll get to that on Saturday. That'll be good fun. A couple hours of alphabetising and reminiscing about old games.
I feel like Andrew needs a different hobby because I want to call this into light. You just said the sentence, so that'll be good fun on Saturday. Couple of hours of alphabetising, and I don't want that to go unnoticed because it feels like a cry for help. And while it's very useful work, I feel like we do need to just ask, "Are you okay?"
I live a full and wonderful life. So
Fruitful.
Fruitful. Yeah.
I live a fruity life.
I live a chutzpah life. Yes.
A chutzpah.
Chutzpah. Sorry. Chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
Anyway, Lewis, how are you?
I am fine. I'm good, thanks. I've had an alright week. The freaking heat has been absolutely cooking me. 3D printer's broke like 3 times, but I fixed it each time, so it's good. I think it's finally on the level now. Everything's going, so I'm getting to start a couple of nice projects.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine. You're not really fine.
Yeah,
You
that's
just can't
been
get
my
into
time. I
it.
watched
You'll
Dead
never understand.
Dead Poets Society for the first time.
I've seen that.
I've always
So-
wanted to see it, but
So
it's the
good.
first time I've seen it.
So
I
good.
watched 3/4 of it in English and then had to go for a diabetic appointment and never got to finish it. That happened
Oh,
4
sorry.
times at
All right.
school.
Okay. In school.
Sorry,
Sorry.
it's
I
in
thought
the
you meant you were,
Yeah,
you
I
were
was
watching it in
so,
Turkish. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was watching it in Yiddish, thank you very much.
Watch the first half of it in English, the second half in Japanese. It's very confusing.
Yeah. Well,
No,
just
just
went
I had,
straight for
like,
Latin. The Latin.
A couple of years where like
That's-
it was I always did English on a Thursday morning, and Thursday mornings is when the diabetic clinic's open. So twice a year I'd be taken out of class to go to that. Sometimes 4 times a year. So it was like there was, and English is the subject where you watch movies evidently. So there was like 4 movies that I ended up missing in the second half of because I was taken out of class to go and be told, yeah, you've still got diabetes.
I mean,
sorry,
I-
Lewis, continue.
I
That's
just want to
okay.
put that I probably watched more movies in RE in religious education than I did in English, just because my RE teacher couldn't be bothered. So we
I
ended
think
up.
I saw Remember the Titans
Nice.
more times than any other film my entire time at school.
Mine was
Do you know how
Because we
many
watched
times?
Overboard starring Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Do you know
Yeah,
how
I
many
would-
times we had basketball practice that got delayed because of like weather, or we didn't have like a gym rented or something like that, and they were like, we're just gonna put on Coach Carter, and I was like, for the love of God, let me just recommend you something else, please. There's like there are other basketball. Let's watch a documentary about people. It doesn't need to be Coach Carter again. I'll give you the YouTube link.
I haven't actually seen Coach Carter. That's the one with
Ah,
Sam,
it's
that's the
fun.
one with Sam L, right?
Yeah, and Jason Tatum. No, that's a basketball player. Channing Tatum.
Channing.
I thought you had mixed up Jason Statham and Channing Tatum in my head. I was like, Jason Tatum?
For
No,
some
Jason-
reason, I had Jason Sudeikis for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, I
and
feel like
Channing
that's-
Tatum. That's a weird
That's not a
mix.
good.
No, that's a very weird mix.
Channing Tatum is, however, in Coach Carter. Go watch Coach Carter, but also watch A Courtship of Rivals, the Magic and Bird documentary. It's on Sky right now. You can get it.
And Dead
sponsored-
Poets Society.
I did watch that. Actually, that's probably way more worth your time than a basketball documentary from the 80s.
My review of it is that it was like, I love it because it's got the man in it, right? If you don't know who the man is,
Becky Lynch.
Yeah, Becky.
yeah, of course, yeah.
He's in Sudeikis'
The guy who
party.
plays the bad guy in RoboCop is in it, so he's in it. He's an important one. But no, I thought it was really good, but there was some moments where like the acting was just like dry. Like it was clear some of the people in it hadn't acted before. Like there was one guy who was playing like the jock. He was like threatening one of the dead poets. He was like, "If I ever see you back here, you're dead." And that was like the line delivery. Like there was no anger in it. It was just like, "You're dead."
That's
It's because he's dead inside. That's what he was conveying.
Really was. It felt like it.
I'd like to start a petition for, and I hope that all of you will agree that this would make you give us money, for Lewis to just do a bi-monthly film review and just record himself right after watching the movie, talking about it, and then I'll tell him to send it to me and I'll edit it, and I won't edit it, I'll just send the entire raw footage of Lewis just going through all of his thoughts about the film directly after watching it.
I mean, if you want to review anything, you have to do it in the style of John from One Life Left from OLL Games.
Stream of consciousness.
Yeah, it's just sentences,
like,
but no punctuation. It's just blah, 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 blah.
Let me get my notebook here. Man with funny face.
Dead poet.
Dry voice.
Yep.
Now the Terminator's here.
So yeah, if you want to know what that is a reference to, go to our YouTube channel and check out
Go to get it.
Yeet or Neat, which I think is on. Is it on our YouTube? It is on our YouTube.
It is on our YouTube. There's an entire playlist that you can check out.
That's where I watched it.
Yes. Yes.
And you can too. So can you.
So yeah, that's good. Dead Poets Society is good. I mean, Robin Williams.
Did you say Robin Williams?
He's
Yeah.
David Williams and
brother.
Robin. Thank you. Yeah, no, I was it's I was putting together David Williams and
He was dead poet.
Statham.
Channing Statham.
That's been my week. So, yeah.
I was going to say
You guys wanna jump into the-
Dick Grayson, but okay.
Wayne the Michelle Rodriguez.
That was an obtuse Robin joke. Anyway, Nadia, how's your? Oh, sorry, I forgot she's not here.
Jason Sudeikis.
That sounds like a cream.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's like a really aggressive cream.
So you've got really,
I've got a hand, don't worry.
no, I've
Put
got
some
really,
Jason
really,
Sudeikis on them.
yeah, really bad butt rash. Like, yeah, just get some
Yep.
Jason Sudeikis.
Sudeikis on it. Yep.
Jason Sudeikis.
I feel like it's like specifically made for bald men who get sunburn on
You
their heads.
if you like funny names like that, I think you might have to check out the Patreon in the future.
Oh, I think you should. Yes. Anyway, that's
Why?
what's
That's
happening?
right.
Jane,
Are you
I don't
okay?
understand. I don't understand what that was a reference to, and I'm checking for dead poets. I have no idea what's going on.
That was a reference to minigames.
You were like looking under your desk.
I know.
Is there
I
a
was like,
dead
why are
poet
you
under there? Did you
Why are you
like
under there?
just
Actually,
kill some slam
Actually,
poetry
holy
guy?
shit! I forgot this was here. I meant to ask. I'm clearing out all my stuff, trying to decide if I should keep things.
This is when he pulls out a ventriloquist.
I
Oh
can't
my
see
god!
any.
Oh my
It's-
god!
Yeah, that's the thing.
wow.
Yeah. I love how he pulls the cap like an actual cap. Like, you've covered Mario's eyes. Well, Mario. You can't. He just looks very angry.
Hello, I am Jason Sudeikis.
What's happened? What is
I don't
happening
know.
here?
It's actually really comfy. I'm not even kidding.
I
Okay,
don't have
I was gonna say,
a,
Hat stream is now not working, Lewis. Come on.
I don't have a hat, but I do have this silicon mold of the Millennium Falcon.
I want to make
put it on
ice
your
cubes
heads.
with that.
Don't put it.
I'm gonna take that and make giant ice cubes that only I can drink.
Why? Why is that there?
I was cleaning out my cupboards.
Wait, this is the new and improved Super Arcade Show. Andrew didn't mention that off the top, so I will now. Things have changed round these parts, Dusty Stranger. Now, we'll switch it up a little bit. So, you have 1 hour of content from us, which has about 40 minutes left. It starts with us checking out how each other's week has been and being a little bit silly and fun. As you can tell by my hat. And then we go into this week's game news. We talk about some things that caught our potential, our personal, our intimate eye in the last week. And then later this evening or later this week, you can catch the usual Gameitude that would normally be on the Arcade Super Arcade Show will be available on the Arcade Glasgow Patreon account. So if you're not already a patron of Arcade Glasgow, you absolutely should be, because there's currently like probably maybe like at least 45 minutes of content there. Probably more.
A
week.
lot more, because
A week.
I mean, that's, you think about where all the Versus stuff and everything was posted. I mean, that was
It's
all
true.
posted
It's
there
true.
All
first.
the wrestling shows, the two pay-per-views are still up.
Yeah.
You can still only see the Versus Season 4 final on Patreon right now. It's the only way you can get a hold of it. There's no other way of accessing it. So
So if you want to know
That's
who
how
won,
you get really cool stuff like this.
oh
and like this,
no.
No, you don't get
No.
that on there.
I don't want to be affiliated with that
Extra
nonsense.
wars.
Please don't. What? I love how they've like taken artistic license and went the dungarees. Shall we do the dungarees? No. Just do tassels, but make them blue.
Why was that like? That was like Michael McIntyre explaining Scottish dress.
oh,
Just like, yes, no, we've got to be less English. Bobblehead.
Anyway, as Sam
They should have done
mentioned,
a scarf, which was the lower half.
it's too warm for scarves. You know this, Liz.
I know,
You're complaining
but
about
a
the heat
lower,
already.
the lower half of his face, and then it looks like he's eating you.
This
I'd
is
like
Or
it
you're
to be
wearing him
known-
as a
this
skin
is the
suit. I
scarf
can't
it's like
decide.
there you go. That's
I'd
the
like
scarf.
it to be known that before the end of this stream, this hat will have been taken off because it's already
It's
restricting
so
brain
warm.
functionality.
So
But
warm.
in the meantime, Andrew, what's our first news story of the day?
Well, I've still got this thing to do, so let's do this.
What?
I really want a felt puppet now.
I couldn't get to the screen to meet you guys, so they all heard. They heard the puppet thing. They heard the what? They heard everything. It's time for the gaming news, I'll kick off with my story because that's the one I have on my screen. I'm sorry. And my story
Nickerson.
is coming. Oh no, I can't even look at my phone. I'm gonna have to quickly look up the information for my story before.
I don't know. Andrew, can you not translate it for us?
No, I don't speak German or Hebrew, unfortunately. Sorry.
Or Yiddish.
Spit up with you.
No, my story is that the new sequel to Judgement from the guys that made the Yakuza games, Judgement was released in 2018. The sequel, which is called my brain is gone. Lost Judgment. There it is due out September, I think, this year. But they've released some new video footage of the game in action, and the story is this: in the original release of Judgment, there was a pinball machine in the office that you could play, and then in the enhanced version for Series X and PlayStation 5, they added an Outrun arcade machine in the office that you could play as well. But what's happening is with the sequel, instead of having an arcade machine or a pinball machine, you're going to get the chance to play an actual Sega Master System
In the game.
in the
That
game.
was my first. The Master System was my first Sega.
Same here.
But,
Master System 2.
Yeah, it was Master System 2. I had.
Master System 2, yeah. So you see in the background of the video that's on screen, there's a little. It's actually the original Master System on the table with a CRT TV. And the range of games, which I can't remember now, but I remember some of them off the top of my head, is Alex Kidd. What's the Penguin one again? I've forgotten all the games. there's been a list of games released, or a list of the games that are going to be available, but they are like. I love
Oh
the
my
music,
God.
The music, right?
That it was the bang, like that
Yeah.
straight through me.
So
I still can't get over how unimpressed the man in the webcam looks sometimes. Sometimes he looks pretty happy, and then like in the thumbnail that you had, he just looked so sad.
Why is he the only one wearing a mask?
I don't know. I have no idea. So
Andrew, translate.
Translate what?
I don't know.
The footage does confirm. There you go. Alex Kidd in Miracle World and Penguin Land are two of the games that are definitely confirmed. They haven't released an official statement on what games are going to be included, but you can probably tell by the screen. But I don't speak Japanese. I can't read Japanese, so I can't tell what the games on that screen were, unfortunately. But the game releases. I'm just trying to get the actual release date. September 24th. There it is. Yes, it releases September 24th this year, and it's kind of like a series staple now. It came from Shenmue originally that they would include older retro Sega games within the games, so you could go down to the arcade and play them. And it transitioned into the Yakuza games as well, so you could play stuff like. Oh god, I can't remember half the games. There's so many arcade games that they brought through on the Yakuza games. But with the latest iteration, Yakuza Like a Dragon, I've forgotten now. With Lost Judgment, I think the game that's been confirmed to be at the arcade is Sonic Fighters, if I remember rightly, as well. So you'll be able to play that in the arcade down there. So they're just ripping off Shenmue bit by bit. Well, Michelle, that's the thing. A lot of the developers that work for Sega that now work on the Yakuza and Judgment games are guys that worked for the Shenmue team. So they actually brought a lot of their knowledge through with them into the games. Hence why some of the stuff stayed, which is really cool. Also, it's a little nod of the cap to such a great series.
If you take us back to the game selection screen, I should be able to tell you what the games are.
Only missed it, but they stole Miyu Mashita's spinning kick.
There you go.
Okay, let's see. We have select game, switch to overseas version, Operation Explanation. That doesn't
Instructions.
make sense.
Please Google this.
That's just a pause menu.
It's
That
a pause
doesn't
menu.
actually tell you the games.
I was curious because I didn't think they would release like they would be silly enough to say, "Here's the Master System. Here's all the games."
Here are
I'll
the
tell
games.
you the games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was using the Google Translate like camera.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
But yeah, so that looks like a pause menu. So it's like settings. I think one of them is language settings. So language settings, because it said switch to overseas version, which there was So there was no game titles there, sadly.
Oh, but I'm sure we'll get a list eventually from the guys because the game gets closer to release. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'm still playing through the original Judgment. So I'll be finishing that off hopefully in the next few weeks. I might even stream it again because I was playing it on stream. Oh my gosh, I know you want to play it, so avoid watching me play it, I guess. And then the second one, as I say, comes out September 24th, so looking forward to that.
What is the story of Judgment, Andrew?
Judgment basically kind of flips the Yakuza kind of story on its head. So Yakuza is about
The Yakuza.
About the Yakuza, it's about the gangs,
No
about
way.
the sort of overlords, and then battling against each other for power. So the Judgment games is actually you playing a former lawyer turned private investigator.
Oh, Ace Attorney.
Yeah, that kind of thing, but without
Injection.
without the objections. So yeah, oh my gosh, it's like, guys, my birthday's coming up, so can I have a PS4, please? Ooh. Was this the one with the cats? Yes, Cheney, that's the one where I had lots of shelves of cats. It is indeed.
Shelves.
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 I was like,
Elves.
Chutzpah. Elves.
Chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
I'm gonna Google some Yiddish words.
So yeah, September 24th, looking forward to that,
Oh, man.
and hopefully I'll get to stream the original game as well. Moving on. Let's see who's next on my screen of screens. It happens to be Sam.
Venus Green.
It's Sam.
Oh,
Sam.
Samothy.
What?
Sorry, I
Samus.
just realised the obvious that bubkiss is a Yiddish word.
Yeah, like
Oops.
schmuck.
That might be on this list.
The Gabagoo.
No.
Schmuck.
Gabagool.
Schmuck is a lovely word, especially when you find out what the meaning is.
Flux.
It's the discarded foreskin after a circumcision.
Yeah.
That's a schmuck. It's the. Anyway, Sam, what have you got for us this week in gaming news?
Andrew, that was very Michigana. Anyway, this week I bring to you, of course, Sam is the wrestling correspondent. It's not as though that basically has turned into half of what we talk about. I'm so sorry to everyone. And he watches a little company called AEW. If you watched last week's Rumble Pack Wrestling news thing, you would have seen that there's been a little bit of news about their video game. So they announced last year they were going to do 3 video games. They were doing a mobile gambling game, which is just like a casino game, it's useless. GM mode app for your phone, so you got to manage your own wrestling company, which is in beta test right now, and I think Cheney applied to it. Cheney might have got in it, but some people from the One Life Left Discord definitely got into the beta test. And then a main console game, which it was revealed last week from a Forbes article featuring the owner of the company that AEW has put 8 figures of money behind this video game already.
Wow.
And that technically as a company they're in the red because they've spent, $10 million plus on this game already. Without too much having been said about it, Ukes are the official developers for it. Having been fired by 2K as the developers for the WWE games, which is why WWE games have been rubbish the last 2 years. Not necessarily because whoever's replaced them has been bad, just because it was a very short notice change.
They haven't been the same.
I mean,
the people who've been developing the 2K games recently for the WWE team have never made a game of that type before.
Which sounds a lot like the WWE writing team.
Anyway,
last week they did another 2-point show, which is AEW Games monthly. Here's everything we can tell you about the stuff that we've been working on, which is ran by head designer and head referee Aubrey Edwards. This company's great. Last week also featured the wrestler known as the Bunny. Anyway, they revealed the character model for former TNT champion Darby Allin, as well as a little bit of in-game footage. So I thought we would have a look at that. And maybe talk about people's memories of old wrestling games, because even non-wrestling fans have likely played wrestling games. So we have the very cool entrance music for Darby Allin, and then what his character model looks like, and then a little bit of the gameplay, including his signature move, the coffin drop, which is that double-armed dive backwards. The thing with the game is that there was an initial teaser trailer put out, which looked very WWE Superstars, very cartoony. Yeah. Big muscular chest. I mean, Andy's not got it ready, but if you could have looked up the original teasor trailer as well.
Talk away. Yeah, it's fine.
Basically, the original teaser trailer for the AEW game, that top one, Andy, showed much bulkier character models for both men and women. And so they seem to have absolutely swerved from that, which to most people, including myself, is a bit of a good thing. I was a bit nervous that it wasn't my kind of game. And while the gameplay we just saw earlier has me a little bit concerned for my kind of thing, it definitely looks better than this, which just looked like it was like the kind of game I play on my phone.
This has vibes of this has vibes of Battlegrounds. Obviously, WWE release, most recent release. So that kind of chunky, cartoony sort of versions of actual real life wrestlers, you know.
This is true, but so the new one's much better. The one that we showed first is what the game now looks like. This is probably, as people have pointed out, like a pre-alpha of what it ends up turning into. No word on release dates or anything. This was just the first time we've seen any sort of gameplay. So most people anticipating late next year or next summer. But I'm glad it's changed, it's improved a little bit. And I'm looking forward to it. This was also just them showing off that they will let you do create a wrestler. Michelle's point about the green toy soldier looks strange. That's just the base character model for like practicing moves on and things like that. So
I'm in an awkward
It's,
position here. Oh no, my camera's in a
Green
weird
Man.
place. Yep, there we go. I'll put it back down here. There you go.
No, you're censoring. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, with the new stuff, the way it looks now, I quite like it. I like it's almost like a happy medium between the arcadey kind of cartoony style and the more realistic style that we've come to know in modern wrestling games.
yeah, it
I
looks
think
far less schlepped than the previous version.
Yeah.
but try to
Stop.
Darby's head looks a little bit too big, but
In proportion.
Other
He's,
than
yeah.
that-
he's very small.
obviously you can tell that the whole point is to showcase his model and his moveset.
Yeah.
You know, the crowd aren't moving; they're all borderline T-posed.
Which for most people is fine.
Yeah,
Like, it's not, you know, the crowd isn't as important as making the actual gameplay.
the whole point at this stage is to show off the Derby, and like even the lighting and the ring looks really good.
Yeah.
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 Even the crowd, you know, like just the general arena and atmosphere that they're trying to go for.
Yeah. Although, so here is my only criticism, right? I would prefer if the ring was a lot closer to the entrance, because that's how it looks on TV.
This is based off of their previous
Touring.
arenas, though. Yeah, touring
Yeah,
arena.
I think it's
Yeah.
based on the touring one.
Just with the hard cam being different. I don't know. I feel just because I grew up playing all the WWE ones, even the Ukes ones that Ukes made for WWE,
Yeah.
the character models just look a little bit too shiny. Like it's for younger people, which is fine. Look, regardless, Sam is buying this game, and then the camera angle just feels weird. I don't know. I can't explain it. It just gives me the feeling that like you can't fight around certain parts of the ring. I don't know. We will see. There will be more to come. This is like a year in advance news, but it's news that Sam cares about.
It's good
And
development.
he didn't want to just Google gaming news again. So that's my news this week.
I think it does look like they've got a good like base, but
Yeah.
obviously they're still tweaking it and they've still got a lot to build on. I do think the animations look a little stiff, but obviously it's really early on. And like you said, the character models as well, like they
Oh
were
my
huge
gosh,
in the
they're really
first
well.
one, but now they're shiny. They might tone that down for the full release. So
It's something.
Yeah.
This is interesting because obviously, in more recent sort of pay-per-views and other wrestling shows, especially with WWE anyway, they've started using camera tech like the 8K camera and stuff, which
Yeah.
started sort of they were trying to go as realistic as possible with the video games, and then they've kind of brought that into the pay-per-views and stuff as well, and it's sort of blending together that realism.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to decide as development goes whether or not you want to go for a realistic game or whether you want to go down a more sort of over-the-top cartoonish
They're going cartoony.
look. You
They're
know?
not going overly cartoonish, but
No.
they're definitely going
You've got
for
to
not
get the tone right,
non-realistic.
you know, and you've got to keep the fans happy when you're choosing that kind of tone. And you listen to feedback, and it's good that they've listened to feedback from the initial bulky, big cartoony style to sort of bring it down
Yeah.
a little, you know, and tone it down a bit. which is
Oh my
really
gosh,
good.
Yep.
Mish have put exactly how have put into words what I couldn't quantify in my own head though. That the character models look a little bit like rubber, and then as Mish has put it, they look like you're controlling toys,
Toy figurines.
like you're making
yeah.
toys fight.
Like
yeah,
behind
which
you, yeah.
no,
Yes.
those are real. No, so
Those are models.
so
Do you think wrestlers are actually that size, Sam?
Yeah.
yeah. So I like it. I like it, but I would like whatever they did. I want a wrestling video game that's new, that's different, that's not just the same old annually.
Yeah.
This
But,
is a problem with using Ukes though. I mean, Ukes have a history. They have that experience of building wrestling games previously, and how much is that going to influence what they then put out as a final product? You know, are they going to
Well,
bring in
I
new
think-
blood?
That's why I think having someone like Aubrey in charge is good, because she hasn't worked on wrestling games before, but she has been in.
Aubrey made Nintendo stuff, right?
Yes,
was
she
she-
was
was she
she was
full-time
involved in
referee?
Nintendo.
Yeah.
So she hasn't focused much on the wrestling side of things. So having someone with a different mindset is really good. I have faith that it's going to be good.
Oh, she worked for she worked on the first Scribble Knots.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Which was a great game.
Great game. Yeah. Yep.
So she's as well as like other things like apps as well as other stuff, but Scribble Knots is like the big one. So having that be your voice in the US, talking with Ukes back in Japan means that things will look a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is good.
Sounds good. All right, moving on. Lewis, you've sorry, Sam. Lewis.
No, that's fine. I deserve it.
No, that was great. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed that, and it was good to discuss game development as well and the progression of it. Thank you.
The 1 week Nadia isn't here.
We talk about game development. Lewis, what have you got for us this week?
I have the return of Xbox Design Lab.
Is it back?
It's really a little short trailer
Just
thing here, but you can go on the website now and customize your controller. And I find actually it's quite easy to do so, and you get to do a little engraving on the front plate, which looks awesome.
You can, which I wanted to draw attention to immediately. Because why is the name of the person they've picked Pit Bear?
Is it gamer tag?
Yeah.
What is that gamer tag though?
Pit Bear?
The one of the good things about it is about the engraving is so the whole thing is I think it was like £67 or something total. I mean that's like for completely customizing the color, and you get to customize the body, the back, the bumpers, the sticks, the D-pad, the buttons, the share stuff. You get to customize all of it and put an engraving on it, and it's only like 10 or more than what a normal controller would be.
$59.99 for custom whatever you want, and then an additional $7.99 for engraving.
Yeah, it's good price. Like
and they also have some like pre-made ones. So they have a grounded one, which is color schemed like the aphid from Grounded, and it's got the thing written on it. And another one as well, which I forget. Well, this is the thing, Sean. They come with like the triggers and the bumpers they're actually textured as opposed to the regular smooth controllers.
I've accidentally made a Majin Buu themed one.
Nice.
Having never watched Dragon Ball.
Pink, white, gold, and purple. I'm all about that.
Like bright green. But I thought Majin Buu.
Majin Buu's pink.
I'm sending it in.
It sounds to me like you've made a Piccolo.
You made a Piccolo, yeah, if it's green.
I've made wrestling. No, not Piccolo. Wrestling? Why did I say wrestling? I just resorted to default there.
You know what to do? Design your controller. Everyone in chat, when you go to the design lab, design a controller, take a screenshot of it, post it in the Discord.
Post it. Have a competition.
Andy, where do you want these posted? Show and tell or
show and tell?
Picture of retro game characters. So retro video game characters,
and then the controller.
And create a controller.
Yeah.
And do that. So like a Sonic the Hedgehog one, a Mario one, all the way through.
I mean, it's funny.
Alex Kidd, Pac-Man.
This is something I've been doing for years myself anyway. Just customizing controls, and there's a huge market for it. You've got companies like Scuff that do custom stuff with triggers,
custom
and
skins,
custom skins, and that. And then you've got independent companies out there that do custom work on controllers. They've been doing it for years, since like PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era.
Those companies that do like custom like Game Boys, like the arcade store.
Yeah. But no, it's funny because I got an Elite 1 controller, an Xbox Elite 1 controller for pennies off of eBay that actually just needed a bumper replacement, and and so it cost me, I think, £1 or possibly like 80 pence for the bumpers, and I chucked them in there, and it's something that's really easy to do. And I think part of the design of the controllers these days, they're trying to make it easier for you to customize it as well. So if you need a replacement part, it's not about taking apart wires and desoldering stuff and removing components and stuff like that. It's literally just click, slap, bang, done.
And it's also accessibility as well, because like a lot more of the controllers come in with like configurable buttons. So if you can't use one side of the controller, then you can.
It's accessibility, yeah.
Yeah, you can map stuff.
I mean, I've changed how I physically use a controller because of the Series X, and because of the Elite controller, because I can map things differently. I don't use bumpers anymore. My main fingers are stuck to the triggers permanently, and I've got my paddles on the back for the bumpers.
Oh, on
instead.
the underneath.
That's so. My uncle, who is in his 60s, but he is a massive fan of Elder Scrolls Online, right? And he plays on console. He plays on Xbox. And one of the things he was really struggling with was there's certain things in Elder Scrolls where it's like you press, Y and B at the same time to do stuff. Yeah. And he was just struggling to get that. He got an Elite controller, and you can configure it where, like, one of the bits at the back, there you go, there's Y and B. There's this and that. So he doesn't have to do those weird combos, and the controller's just a lot more accessible for him.
Brilliant. Really
yeah.
Not to shout out PlayStation here, but I think other companies definitely need to start moving towards this like a more accessible controller.
Don't get me wrong, like the DualSense is a phenomenal piece of kit, but I think Xbox have made such a concentrated effort to become accessible. You've got the whole accessibility controls, like you can get the big buttons, so you get people who maybe don't even have like full use of their hands can press buttons with their feet, you can map a lot more. And yeah, you're completely right, Lewis. Just other companies, get your fingers out. Come on.
I had the benefit of getting to talk to the guys from Special Effect, who are the charity who worked with Xbox in designing the accessibility controller, the big white rectangle, which has loads of I/O, loads of ins and outs, basically to connect different things. So you could hook up a giant red button if you needed it for the way that you want to play a game. You could hook up foot pedals and that kind of stuff as well, which is insane. And so I mean, Microsoft have gone out of their way over the last few years, like you said, Tony, to actually embrace that, and not just embrace that, but embrace it in a way that for just the consumer as well, for people who actually want to customize stuff like that. They've given people options, which a lot of other companies haven't, which is a shame. I mean, I really, really just want a transparent purple Switch. Why won't you do this, Nintendo? Please. Atomic purple, bring it back.
There's so many game consoles and controls and stuff like that it's like we are in an age now where information is everywhere, right? So the whole thing of, oh no, we can't have people taking apart our controllers because we don't want third parties to be able to fix them. We want to be able to fix them because all that's out the window, right? My Switch, I started getting Joy-Con drift, and before everyone was sending them back in to get that fixed, I replaced the sticks because I looked up online how to do it, and it was dead simple. I've took apart my Xbox controller several times. I don't understand why, and PlayStation have done this. PlayStation with the PS5 has made the console easy to take apart and clean, which well done to them. More consoles need to do it. It's like, stop making everything like proprietary screws. Have it be like, and this is the same with phones as well. I liked it when I could take off the back of my phone and put a different one on.
Yeah.
Like, have it the same with a console. Let me take off the back shell and the front shell. Have your screen and everything built in, but have the shell, have everything clip off, latch off, whatever, and replaceable.
Nice.
Why did it go away in the first place again?
We shifted from the major thing is we shifted from a right to repair attitude to a replacement attitude.
But
So
more, why did the Xbox Design Lab disappear in the first place?
Right,
they were
okay.
working on it.
Yeah. With the new
it was getting
generation
to
of
the tail
controllers
end.
and
Yeah, it was getting to the end of the Xbox One's lifespan, and the new thing was coming out. They noticed that sale levels were going down on it because obviously people were waiting for the new one, so they took it away, redesigned it, brought it back.
It's fun because, like I was saying, I had to replace the bumpers on my Elite controller. It actually meant that I then had to learn about the changes that they've made. Like my Xbox have actually made physically to the controller. So, like for example, the original Xbox One controller has a slightly different design from the Elite controller, which then has a slightly different design again. Then to the later, the one with the 3.5mm jack, the later model of the Xbox One controller, and then the Elite Series 2 came out, and now the Series X/S has its own sort of variation of the controller again. There's not been too much of a change with the newest controller, but that's the reason the Design Lab kind of went away and came back again, is because of the changing controllers, and now they have the new generation of consoles out. That's basically it. There you go.
Thank you
Liz.
to Mystic Autistic. Sorry, no, not Mystic Autistic. To Oh My Gosh for sending us an arcade inspired controller.
Oh,
Nice.
really?
Yeah.
Check that out in the Discord later. That's cool.
Oh, nice. I would use it.
You're looking at it now. I'm too scared to do anything in case I mess up stream, but yeah. Sorry, Luce, you're going to say something before I jumped in there. Apologies.
I was just gonna say that, like exactly what you guys were saying about taking like it went down in preparation for the release of the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, because it now includes Series X controller, but that's what I was going to say.
There you go. Right. Thank you for that, Liz. Tony, you've got our final piece for the day, and it's some news that just got confirmed today, wasn't it? Because I read, was it an article from a few days ago, and then
it's not confirmed yet, but
Okay.
we are assuming. But yeah, so there's been rumors going around for a little while that EA Motive, one of the studios in EA, has been working on an established IP. They're working on a game for an established IP. There's now further rumors coming around that it is going to be a reimagining or like a reboot almost of the Dead Space franchise, which was first released in 2008, and there was another 2 new games, Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3,
Yep.
and that was all done by Visceral Games, which was closed by EA in 2017. So there is the rumors that EA Motive is doing a reimagining of the game, and Visceral had been previously working on a Star Wars like heist game called
yeah.
Ragtag.
I remember that. Yeah.
And a lot of the Dead Space senior developers had went on to form PUBG Corporation Development Studio called Striking Distance in 2019. So this is just a trailer for the original Dead Space you've seen here. But so the team that kind of worked on that original game they've announced a new sci-fi horror game called The Callisto Protocol, which from what rumors telling is pretty much going to be going head to head with this new Dead Space game. So that'll be quite interesting. However, there is we are assuming, because there's an EA Play live event on July 22nd, so literally a month from today,
Okay.
where we assume they're going to announce details about it. From everything I found online, I checked multiple sources, and it all kind of was pointing to this being a new Dead Space. I keep wanting to say Dead Island, it's not. But this would be like a new Dead Space game, and it is hopefully going to be announced next month.
Okay.
But yeah, what's everyone's feelings on Dead Space? Have you played any of them?
I played the first one on PS3. Was it PS3?
Yeah.
That'd
2008,
be right. Yeah.
PS3. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I've never played any of the subsequent ones. But yeah, for those that don't know what it is, just basically space horror. On a just a horrendous scale. It's like the Silent Hill of space. It's so
Yeah.
visceral
Amazing
in terms
story
of ways.
in the
Yeah.
first one.
Also,
for sure.
you don't play like, unlike a lot of these games, where it's like you're a police officer or you're a soldier. Dead Space 1, you're an engineer,
Yeah, that's right.
if I
Yeah.
remember rightly.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You have your tools, but you
Um,
don't actually have proper weapons, or you end up making
Yeah.
them. But yeah.
So it's like you start off and you get a plasma cutter.
Yeah. The good game series that makes a return. It's not on the top of my list of games I would like to see return, but I would welcome it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. It's definitely like a franchise or a universe that I've always like had an appreciation for, because it's like really deep and storied and has a huge like lore. Like there are the games, but then there's like comics and books based in the universe that are like official.
Yeah.
And that's like I feel like I would like to get back into it more. I wasn't really. I enjoyed the first one. I wasn't really hooked on the second one, and I played the third, and it didn't really do anything for me. But definitely, I'd be quite happy to see another Dead Space.
Would you 3D print the
It's-
mask though? That's my question, Lewis.
Oh man,
I know you have
Maybe.
a penchant.
maybe. Game, it has some serious nightmare fuel though.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I'd really like to see what they can do on modern hardware.
Mm.
Because obviously the last game came out in 2013.
Yep.
And there's been quite a lot of advancement tech-wise when it comes to like lighting, texture mapping, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff you can do, especially like, I'm really interested to see how far we can go with ray tracing in horror games, because a lot of the time lighting is very, very important for horror games. So
Super important. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the game itself when it came out was like top of the line. It had
Oh yeah.
like incredible graphics for the time, great story. It had 0G that actually felt nice. It was it had like a lot of mechanics that I think a lot of games still struggle with. So
Yep.
It's curious because usually, and Electronic Arts is probably as known for this as anyone. You would usually get some sort of rumor of some sort of HD remaster or remake. No, maybe not a remake, but if they're developing a new game, but a remaster of some kind of a whole trilogy. Just to sort of bring that awareness back into the public realm of an IP, for example. Before you were talking about it, I think what I was reading was it was kind of an homage to Dead Space, but not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily need to be a Dead Space game, but it will be in the same vein and in that same sort of feeling. And that'll be interesting to see what they do, especially with games like say Returnal, for example, which most recently came out. That has a look, a specific sort of creepy look with the lighting and stuff that I really enjoy. And applying that kind of stuff to this would be really good to see. Definitely.
Yeah.
If you haven't played Dead Space and you'd like to, it's on Steam, or you can get it on EA Play, or like Xbox Game Pass. It's on there.
Yep.
It's on Game Pass.
It's on the EA Play.
I think
Let's have a
is
look.
it console only, possibly?
It
Because I haven't
might
seen
be.
it on I haven't seen it on the PC Game Pass.
It's on. You can buy it on Steam.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you want a PC copy of it, yeah.
Must be on PC.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying it's not.
Oh,
part
the
of Game
EA
Pass.
Play,
Yeah.
I believe it is. Let me
It's-
check.
Just a quick fact check for those at home just wanting to try it out. I have a copy
Uh,
on the PS3, I believe.
Crisis. Yep, Dead Space. It's on EA Play. Dead Space 1, 2, and 3, all available on EA Play with Game Pass.
Sorry, I just disappeared to go check my PS3 list. It's not alphabetized yet, so it's really hard to find. But perfect. Gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this week's show. Thank you to everyone in chat for hanging out with us. Thank you in the future to anybody that checks us out on YouTube. I think starting this week, I promised it last week and I didn't do it. Actually, I promised it 2 weeks ago that I would actually try and get us back onto Spotify and iTunes. Not iTunes. It's not iTunes anymore, is it? But
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. That's what they renamed it. Thank you, Sam.
And it sucks now. Don't use it.
Spotify this week. Well, then that's fine. But thank you, Lewis, for joining us. Thank you, Sam, and thank you to the wonderful Totana. Twitch.tv/Totana for joining us as well this week in lieu of Nadia's birthday. Thank you very much. We are going to do our usual content, but if you want access to our fun minigames, then you need to become one of our exclusive Patreon supporters. So come join us on Patreon, and you'll get automatic access to some really cool stuff. And if you go top tier, you'll get a free gift, something really cool every month as well. So make sure to go check that out for you.
Last things have been like the Blow Me badge.
That's Pew Pew.
Which is oh, that's Pew. Oh yeah, Blow Me was one of the ones I got earlier. Pew Pew. That's the one I was talking about. A red Blow Me.
Oh damn! We almost made it to the end without the follow. We're gonna become famous by followers. Oh, by bots.
Yeah.
That's the first time in ages I've seen those.
Emma.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
Oh
you
My
get
Gosh's
really
benefit,
good,
and so that everyone knows this. This show is not Patreon exclusive, but the mini games that we play are now going to be Patreon exclusive, so you can catch those over on Patreon.